Book 3, Chapter 42. Philosophy of Dreaming, Swapnam. Creation is a dream. Siddhartha asked the boon to be reunited with his second queen, Leela. Vasishtha speaking. The man who is devoid of understanding with the all-pervading principle thinks the unreal world as real, dense, and concrete. Just like a child is not freed from his fear of ghosts until his death, so the ignorant man never gets rid of his fallacy of the reality of the unreal world as long as he lives. Just like solar heat causes the error of water in the mirage to both dear and unwary people, so the unreal world appears as real to the ignorant part of mankind. As the false dream of one's death appears to be true within the dreaming state, so the false world seems to be a field of action and gain to the deluded man. Just like one not knowing what is gold sees a golden bracelet to be a mere bracelet and not gold, so the ignorant without knowledge of the causal subject is never misled by the appearance of form. The ignorant see a city, a house, a hill, and an elephant as they are presented before them. So appearances are all taken only as they are seen, and not what they really are. As strings of pearls are seen in the sunny sky, and various paints and taints in the plumage of the peacock, so the false world presents its false appearances as sober realities. Know life to be a long sleep, and the world within myself and yourself are the visions of its dream. We see many other persons in this sleepy dream. None is real, as you will now learn from me. So we have commented on this before, and it is very significant. When we're embedded in the dream of the world, just like when we're having a dream and we don't know we're dreaming, whatever's happening in that dream, whatever monsters are chasing us, whatever problems there are, totally real. The fear and the pain, the excitement, the anguish, whatever we're experiencing, we feel it. It's totally real. And when we wake up from the dream, heart is still pounding and we're still feeling the residual effects of the emotions stirred up by that dream. Most people, they go through life, they run into various situations caused by their karma. They go into poverty, they go into terrible illnesses. It is very real to these people. And you've gone through it too. And it's very real to you when you go through it. And so we develop compassion for people who have not realized that it's all just a dream. And because it is a dream, it's possible to wake up from the dream. And that's what enlightenment is. Waking up from the dream that this world is real. This is the only reason we're here. We're here because we're lost in a dream. And as long as we don't wake up from this dream, it just goes on. And all the horrible things that happen, and the occasional happy things that happen to people, caused by just the reverberations of their karma, make life into a very dreaded and unhappy state for most people, most of the time. People are suffering. They're in fear. They can't sleep. They can't rest. All because they don't have the perspective of the silent witness. The silent witness is that same light that somehow magically turns on when we're dreaming. And we have the thought and the realization, this is just a dream. I am dreaming now. And we have a lucid dream. And it feels so empowering. And the reason it feels so empowering is because it is a taste of what it's like to know that the world is just a dream. And that I am the dreamer. Not only is it a dream, but it is my dream. Now, in the realm of lucid dreaming, we like to experiment. First, we realize we're dreaming, and we have this lucid dream, and most people, it's so exciting to realize, wow, I'm dreaming. And then they remember, what can I do in a dream? There seems to be no limit. And a lot of people, they just can't resist the urge to fly because they know it's a dream. They know they can just leap into the air. Gravity has no effect on them. And they can fly through the air, and they know that they're not going to hurt themselves. They're not going to break an arm by falling off of or out of the sky. They're not going to fall out of the sky. They can fly. Their confidence is there. The knowing is there. And that makes it possible to do what everyone else, apparently all the little dream creatures in the dream, seem to think is not real. In fact, we may even decide to test that and fly up to people and say, look, I can fly. Can you fly? Come on, jump up and you can fly with me. And what do these dream creatures do? I've tried it. They just look at me like I'm probably a crazy person. And I can just see in their mind, they're thinking, there's no way you can fly. I don't know what I'm seeing here, but this is not possible. And then I fly away, and I realize that they are embedded in my dream. It's my dream, and so I can do anything I want. And at first, the only thing, when I first started having lucid dreams, the only thing I could think to do was fly. It was the only thing I could think about doing. Oh, I'm dreaming. Wow. And I can fly. After the dream is over, I'm kicking myself. I could have done a lot of things. But all I could think about was flying. When this happens in what we call real life, when we sit down to meditate, we connect with the silent witness. We become the silent witness. We have that sense of infinity and eternity, which is who we are. Time is no factor at all in this eternity. The mind is thinking the mantra. It's doing a good job of it. Let it think the mantra. Thoughts may even be coming up. Not a problem. Those thoughts are coming from karmic traces. It's obvious where the thoughts are coming from. It's not a mystery anymore. Once you're established in the silent witness, it's like standing on a high hill over a town. And if you're on the telephone with somebody who's down on Main Street, you can tell them exactly how to get to the bank, where to turn right, where to turn left. And because you can see it, it's just as clear as day. Now, if you're down there on the street, all you see around you are all these buildings, and you don't have any idea where the bank is. But just that shift of perception and perspective makes all the difference in the world. That's motion. That's freedom. Freedom from limitations that we self-impose on ourselves through the belief that the karmic traces are producing something that is real in our life. None is real, as you will now learn from me. The most important discourse is coming. There is only one all-pervading, quiet, and spiritually substantial reality. It is of the form of unintelligible consciousness and an immense outspreading emptiness. It is unlimited and all by itself. It is of the form manifesting itself everywhere. Hence the citizens that you see in this visionary city are only transient forms of men presented in your dream by that omnipotent being. This is a wonderful explanation of the silent witness. Not observing the silent witness, not observing the silence, but becoming the silent witness. Once you become the silent witness, it is that awakening that, oh, I am the dreamer. This is my dream. I created all these people around here. And they got themselves into a lot of trouble with their karma, their suffering. And if they'll just listen to me, get out of that suffering. I can show them the way to live a life worth living. Verse 12. The mind of the viewer remains the same in the sphere of his dreams and represents images thought of by itself in that visionary sphere of life. The knowing mind has the same knowledge of things, both in its waking and dreaming state. And it is an act of the perceiving mind. This knowledge is imprinted as true in the conscious souls of men. Brahman said, if the persons seen in the dream are unreal, then tell me, sage, what is the fault in the embodied soul that makes them appear as realities? Brahman is taking the perspective of someone who is approaching self-realization. We know the end of the story. We know that Ram is the incarnation of Vishnu, playing a role to teach, to help people understand the path to achieving moksha. But if we haven't had that understanding, then we see Ram as just a normal human being, and we can relate to him because we have those same questions. What is it that causes all these people around here to appear as real? The sister replied, the cities and houses seen in dreams is nothing in reality. And we know in a dream, when we become lucid, that everything in the dream, all the scenery, all the people, all the things going on in the dream, the roles people are playing, is all pure imagination, illusion. The illusion, Maya, of the embodied soul makes them appear as true like those seen in the waking state in this ordinary world. I will give you proof of this. In the beginning of creation, and by the will of the Creator, the self-born Brahma himself had notions of all created things in the form of visionary appearances, like in a dream, and their subsequent development. Therefore, their Creator is as unreal as the notions and appearances in a dream. Learn this truth from me, that this world is a dream. You cannot get more correct and pointed than that statement. If you ever had any doubt that the world is a dream, the Shista is dispelling that doubt in verse 17. Learn this truth from me. He's talking to dream creatures who are embedded in the dream, and he's telling you and me, this world is a dream. You are a dream creature. You and all other men have your sleeping dreams contained in your waking dreams of this ordinary world. If the scenes in your sleeping dream have no reality in them, how can you expect those in your daydreams to be real at all? You know, this brings up an important point, and that is our project, the Goloka Project, creating 1,000 communities around the world. And we're creating them with a technology of consciousness known as Sanyama. Sanyama is a technology of consciousness for changing the dream when within the dream. It's like you're having a lucid dream, and one of your dream creatures comes up to you and says, I have realized that you are having a dream right now. You're aware that you're dreaming this dream, and I am aware that you are dreaming me. And I know how to change the dream that you're dreaming. I know this technique. It's called Sanyama. And I can change this dream, just like you can change the dream. You're the dreamer. Well, I can change the dream too with the technique Sanyama. And this is literally what we're doing. We're standing before Lord Brahma, and we're saying, this dream of yours, which is our world today, is taking a turn for the worse. Billions of people are suffering in fear, in pain, in poverty, with hunger, with lack. And you, the creator, are not changing the dream. So we are going to do it. Now we understand why Brahma is not changing the dream. It's not that he can't change the dream. It is his mandate to create the dream and let it go. Let the dream creatures that he creates, he created 10 couples. He built into them the desire to procreate. You see, the eternal companions of Krishna, who are the role models, the prototypes of all human beings, they don't have any desire to procreate. So that's where human beings are different from their absolute counterparts. As human beings, we have the desire to procreate, and all that goes into that desire. It is part of the divine karmic traces of this universe. There's nothing we can do about it. It is built into our DNA, this procreation, instinct, need, desire. And so away we go. And those original 10 couples are our ancestors. Each one of us, it can be traced eventually directly back over millions of years to one of those 10 couples. That means each one of us is directly related through blood, through heredity, through ancestry, to nearly 1 billion people. 780 million, 10% of the world's population, are literally our flesh and blood brothers and sisters. And the rest are our next door neighbors. So we are very tightly connected to every human being. That's the way dream creatures have evolved in this universe. Verse 19. As you take me for a reality, so do I also take you and all other things for realities likewise. And such is the case with everybody in this world of dreams. As I appear an entity to you in this ordinary world of lengthened dreams, so you appear an actual entity to me. So it is with all in their protracted dreaming. Vasishtha is saying, even from his perspective, he's seeing so many individual people, dream creatures. He's also seeing how they're all connected. He sees their family tree. He sees how each one is directly related to 10% of the population. And he talks about protracted dreaming, lengthened dreams. Because when we're dreaming at night, when we're asleep, just a few minutes, and then the mind shifts into another state of brainwave activity, or the karmic trace milieu changes, and we're off in another state. Maybe we go into deep sleep, maybe we wake up, we're not even asleep anymore. But in the waking state, this dream lasts for, in Kali Yuga, 90 years, 100 years. I just lost my middle brother, my younger brother, two younger brothers, and the one in the middle died of lung cancer. And he had a lot of suffering in his final days. But now, he has released that body that was causing him so much pain and all the collective, all that karma that was associated with it. And he is realizing, wow, that was just like a long dream. That life where I lived for 60 some years and finally ended up in that horrible state of cancer. It's over. It never really actually even existed. He's having that experience right now. He's waking from that longer dream. Rama asked, if both these states of dreaming are alike, then tell me. When the dreamer awakens, why does he think the visions in his dream were as real as those of his daydreaming state? She's replied, yes, night dreaming is of the same nature as daydreams in that dream objects appear to be real in both. Upon a man's awaking from sleep, the night dreams vanish in empty air. Upon a man's death, his daydreams vanish in empty air. As the objects of your night dreams do not exist in time or place upon your waking, so also those of your daydream can have no existence upon death. Thus, everything that appears real for the present is unreal. And though it might appear as charming as a fairy form in a dream, at last it all disappears into an airy nothing. there is one consciousness that fills all space. It appears as everything, both within and without everybody. It is only by our elusive conception of it that we take it in different lights. Vasishtha is explaining the same thing. He has explained many times in the last 282 pages. And he will say the same thing in a slightly different way a myriad of times in the coming 1,550 some pages. He's doing that because he's trying to balance the imperfect knowledge constructs that we have that trap us into believing all that we see around us is real. It's not real. Yet, if we're truthful, we haven't reached this state of moksha. Not at the level of consciousness of the system. We have to say, I know it's not real, but if I'm truthful, it feels very real. If I'm truthful, I'm sure my body is real. I'm sure my life is real. And also, if I'm truthful, I don't feel like I am a mortal being. I can live forever. So there's some contradiction there. All around us, we see people getting old, dying of cancer, whatever is the problem. But inside we say, somehow I feel immortal. How's that possible? Why is that happening? Because we're having a dim connection with who we are. We are immortal. Essentially, we are eternal beings. We know that at a very deep level. Yet, all around us, we see mortality. So we have a hard time believing. We have reached the illogical conclusion, everybody is mortal but me, and I am immortal. And that doesn't make any sense. So then that gives us the need for understanding the reality of the situation, existence, self-realization. Incredible journey of self-realization. Verse 26. As one picks up a jewel he happens to see in a treasure house, so according to our own liking, we lay hold on anything with which the vast consciousness is filled. The goddess of intelligence, having caused the germ of true knowledge to sprout forth in the mind of the king, by sprinkling the ambrosial drops of her wisdom over it, spoke to the king in this way at the end. I have told you all this for the sake of Leela. And now, good king, we shall take leave of you and these illusory scenes of the world. She's to say, the intelligent king, being gently addressed by the goddess of wisdom, asked her in a humble tone. Vidurātha said, your visit, O most bounteous goddess, cannot go for nothing. If, when we poor mortals cannot withhold our bounty from those who petition us for help, I will quit this body to go to another world. As one passes from one chain of dreams into another, look upon me, your petitioner, with kindness, and grant me the favor I ask of you. Because the great never refuse to grant the prayers of their suppliants. Grant that this virgin daughter of my minister, may accompany me to the region where I shall be led, so that we may have spiritual joy in each other's company hereafter. There's what he said. Go now, King, to the former palace of your past life, and there reign without fear in the enjoyment of true pleasure. Know, King, that our visits never fail to fulfill the best wishes of our suppliants. So Saraswati is the intelligence, the Shakti, the energy, the intellect of the creator of the universe. And Vidyartha, after all this, is still stuck in the dream, right? He still wants, just let me be in the dream a little bit longer with one of my favorite dream creatures, the daughter of my minister. And we will have super joy in this wonderful dream together. And so the creator, following his mandate to create a universe for the likes of Vidyartha and all the dream creatures, to experiment within and achieve balance in their karmic traces, purify their lens of perception to the point that they identify with the silent witness and wake up from a dream. Says, okay, go ahead, have another life. I told you, it's all a dream. You even know it's a dream. But you want to go ahead and experience the dream some more. So you haven't matured in your understanding. You haven't realized your kinship with the other dream creatures and your responsibility as you're gaining the wisdom that so many don't even have a hint of this wisdom. What you should be doing is helping those who are less fortunate than you. You are a king. You are in charge. You're in a position of authority. But you're totally abusing it, aren't you? Just enjoying being in this position that your karma has put you in. Now you get to learn what happens when you do that. You're not going to be a king for very much longer. You're going to be one of those miserable subjects of yours that you're responsible for, that you should have taken your time, energy to help, but you didn't. Instead, you created the karma to become one of those. So we're going to be getting into what happens to this great king as he indulges yet again in another lifetime as a dream creature and forgets that it's all a dream and becomes immersed in the fear, the terror, the misery, the discomfort, pain of being embedded in the dream without the knowledge that it's a dream. Because he's creating this karma. We're watching him do it right now. Now we go to chapter 43, the city of burning. So we'll continue there.